question, do people, or is there a place for people to indicate that they've served previously? So I'm just thinking about spreading the wealth. And so if you want to serve on, several boards, do we want to say, have you served before? What board have you previously been on? So again, you have a sense as to, are we seeing new people coming to the forefront?
And that you mean for a new appointment, or would you like to also see that on the reappointment?
I was thinking of the reappointment as well.
Okay.
Sorry, any last comments? I want to thank Michelle and Cody. I've been a spectator to this, and they worked with a lot of staff, and I think have really brought this to a point where it needs to be much more intentional moving forward.
It's so important, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 2 minutes if you need a short stop.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 14th, 2019 Westminster City Council meeting. As always, in the back and the front, you will find respective symbols of the American flag. We ask you please now to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Fitch, would you take the roll, please?
Atchison.
Here.
Demott.
Here.
Haney. Mankey. Here. Seitz. Here. Scully. Here. Vols.
Here. Thank you, council. All members of council are present. And the first item of business will be the minutes of the September 23rd meeting minute. Ms. Mankey.
Sorry, I am disorganized. I move that the City Council approve the minutes of the September 23rd, 2019 meeting as presented.
Mr. Demont.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. First item on the agenda is a proclamation for the National Community Planning Month. Ms. Haney, if you would, please. By the way, of all you planning department folks and supporters, it's room up here in the front for all of you, so come on up.
Yes, I have a feeling I have quite a few people.
I think the whole audience is coming up myself.
Oh, my favorite.
Oh, we got our commissioners too.
Come on up.
I have to act like you know each other.
Oh, boy, go ahead. You know what I might need is a proclamation, which is behind you. So, if someone wouldn't mind? Yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry. Well, in some ways, I think I should be talking to you because there's more people up here than in the audience. But thank you all very, very much for joining us this evening. And it'd be nice if you introduce yourselves. So,
I'm Katie Shores. I'm an associate planner.
Joshua Vaughn, associate planner.
Deborah Baskett, senior transportation and mobility planner.
Tracy Calling, planning commissioner.
Lisa Torres, and I'm an alternate on the planning commissioner.
Andrew Spurgeon, long range planner.
Rita McConnell, planning manager.
James Boschert, chairman of planning commission.
Dave Carpenter, planning commissioner.
Nathan Lawrence, senior planner.
Chanel Zhang, alternate board member.
Rick Mayo, planning commissioner.
Joe McConnell, planning commissioner. Patrick Caldwell, senior planner.
Amy Johnson, senior planner. Jennifer Baden, planning aide.
Dave Gurman, senior planner.
Jacob Kaza, planner.
John McConnell, principal planner.
well, thank you all. And, you know, I think about the job that they have to do. Next to city council, I think you have one of the toughest ones. So thank you for all the work that you put into it. This month certainly is planning, and if you think of planning in terms of our communities, it's certainly essential to have a balanced community. So thank you very much for what you're doing, and the fact that right now they're celebrating infrastructure for the benefit of all. And we all know what infrastructure means, right, to the city. So let me go ahead. Who would like to stand up here and receive this after I? Chair? There you go. Come right on. So, whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, and rural areas, and other places. And whereas community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work, live, play, and whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. And whereas the full benefits of planning requires public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories. And whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorse National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our settlements and environment. And whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of the Planning Commission and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the city of Westminster. And whereas whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by the professional community and regional planners of the City of Westminster and extend our gratitude for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, I, Herb Atchison, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, do hereby proclaim October to be National Community Planning Month, signed the 14th day of October, 2019. Thank you very, very much, Jim, for all your work, and thank you all for all your work. And I think they deserve a round of applause. What do you want to do? Okay, I'll come all the way down here. How about that? Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate the work you guys do. Our next item on the agenda is Imagine a Day Without Water. Ms. Seitz, if you would, please.
I have the absolute pleasure of making the proclamation for a day without water. So, Public Works and Utilities, yeah, please come on board. So Imagine a Day Without Water is a national campaign that highlights the efforts of the critical importance of investing in infrastructure that allows for the continuous access to safe, clean, high-quality drinking water and the ability to reliably dispose of wastewater. And this is something that Westminster really excels at. This is a wonderful team that you have in front of you, and in a moment I'll have them all introduce themselves, but I'd like to talk a little bit about our city's system. The city's water and wastewater infrastructure is valued at about $4 billion. So it's not a small investment or asset that the city has. And that includes over 900 miles of underground pipes, 4 treatment facilities, 18 pump stations, and 5,000 fire hydrants. So we all know this infrastructure. It's something we don't like to think about. We just want to turn on our tap and have safe water. But it takes a lot of money, time, effort, energy, and expertise to make sure it's all working smoothly. And we have that in spades here in Westminster. During 2016 and 2017, staff completed a comprehensive inventory and condition assessment of the city's water and wastewater infrastructure. And the results showed that the infrastructure was depreciated as a whole by 50%. And that actually a quarter of it was past its designated life or designed life. And so while utilities nationwide are grappling with aging infrastructure and their ability to maintain their water and sewer systems, our city is actively investing approximately $145 million in water and sewer capital improvement projects in 2019 and 2020 to maintain that reliable, compliant, and high-quality service to all our customers. To me, this is foundational to what local government does, to public safety, and to having a strong community today and to tomorrow. I'd love to take a moment to have each of these individuals introduce themselves and talk about their role.
Sure. So I'm Sarah Borgers. I'm the Water Resources and Quality Manager, and I'm responsible for the city's raw water supply.
Max Kirschbaum, Public Works and Utilities Director.
Julie Kaler, Utilities Engineering Manager. We have 8 engineers who manage all the capital improvement projects related to what Councilor Seitz was talking about.
I'm Tanya Bucher. I'm an administrative assistant, and I help a bunch of super smart people with stuff.
I'm Christine Gray. I'm the Business Operations Coordinator, and my team manages the conservation and assistance programs and also does communication for the utility and financial planning for the utility.
I'm Andrew Bless, Communications and Outreach Coordinator.
I'm Kathy Sugarts. I'm the Water Quality Specialist at the Semper Water Treatment Plant. I supervise the laboratories.
The Semper water treatment plant, I found out tonight, provides water for 80% of our residents. Is that correct? So, yeah. So anyway. Whereas the Imagine Day Without Water campaign is an organized effort to highlight the critical importance of reliable access to clean water in our lives and the investment in infrastructure that is necessary to protect this valuable resource. Whereas the infrastructure that brings water to and from homes and businesses is essential to the quality of life and economic vitality of the city of Westminster. Whereas recent crises in the nation and the world show the severe impacts of what can happen to the health and well-being of a community without access to clean drinking water. Whereas changes in weather patterns are causing epic drought and widespread flooding in regions throughout the United States, putting pressure on water systems that are ill-equipped and ill-prepared to manage such extreme events. Whereas utilities nationwide are grappling with aging infrastructure and lack of reliable revenue and funding to maintain systems, let alone upgrade their systems. Whereas 1/5 of the U.S. economy would grind to a halt without a reliable and clean source of water. Whereas the city of Westminster is actively investing in its $4 billion water and wastewater system to maintain reliable, compliant, and high-quality service. Now, therefore, I, Herb Atchison, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, do hereby proclaim October 23rd, 2019 as an opportunity to imagine a day without water, and call upon the people of Westminster to join City Council staff and communities across the country in extending our appreciation for the critical role water and wastewater infrastructure plays in our daily lives. So thank you, and I think they deserve a round of applause as well.
Nice meeting you. Councilor. Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda tonight is for public comment. This is a period where we ask anyone in the public who has a comment they'd like to bring forward to come to the podium. This is for a period of time of 5 minutes or less. If there is a public hearing scheduled on an item, we ask you to hold your comments regarding that one until that item comes forward on the schedule. At this point, I have two people who have signed up to comment. Mr. Terry, you're up. And as always, it will start when your little green light comes on. Yellow means you have 1 minute left. Red means your time is up.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilors, for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm Brett Terry with Friends of Stanley Lake. Want to give you guys a quick update on where we sit on joint initiative that we're trying to do with Friends of Stanley Lake, as well as many of the city staff members, to restore trailer boating to Stanley Lake in a way that's not detrimental or unsafe to public drinking water. We do have a big update coming up tomorrow. We have a first task force meeting that we've had in probably almost 2 months. I wish that meant that we were further ahead and that we didn't need to have those meetings in there, but I want to dispel a little bit of what's been coming out that's been published kind of by the city staff out into the public media and calling the newscasters. There's been lots and lots of work done. It seems like there is no solution that has been jointly approved by everyone or slid across the table to the city staff, and we will fix that tomorrow. There are a solution that has 2 pieces on it. Our solutions are easily 3 orders of magnitude better than the one that seemed to be good enough for 12 years. Okay, now we've gone to this other end of the spectrum where nothing seems to be good enough. I would encourage everybody, including city staff and councilors, to read what's in the proposal, understand it. It's simple, it's executable, it's affordable, and it's super, super safe. We've got a layered approach that's going to use probably the world's most technologically advanced padlock system that will give the rangers the ability to open and close locks, tell where they were open and closed with the GPS tracking system. That system is phenomenal. It'll be the best in the world ever used for this purpose at protecting drinking water. We're going to use simultaneously a parallel system that will allow us to use similar to kind of what we had before, only much, much improved. We use through-hole tagging. We use a cable and a lock system. That tagging system is pretty solid. You can look at that if somebody has tried to fool with it or tried to hack the system. It's very, very visible. That were some of the rules that were put in front of us. I'll just mention a couple of others. We're going to go ahead and use the state software system that, quite frankly, we should have been using the 2 years before we had this issue. That in and of itself is hundreds of times better than not using the system. It would have caught all 24 people who violated the system the first time. Had we been using that, we wouldn't even maybe been here. I think the city's kind of approved increasing penalties, lifetime bans, things like this that will, I think, make a much, much more respective and I think a much, much more responsible boating community. There were 24 people that violated the rules. There are 500 people that boat and use that lake. Everybody's been punished for the bad deeds of the few. That being said, I think we have a responsibility as a boating community to do it much better than we ever have been. And we're committed to doing that. I think with this solution that we're going to slide across the table tomorrow night at the task force, I think we can be where we want to be for 2020. I will tell you that we're less than 2 weeks from the 1st of November, and some of the items, the paddle locks and some of the cables, these things have got 3-month lead times. We are already at jeopardy only because we did not act with sense of urgency earlier and throughout the whole summer, right? I've got a group of community members that are willing to pour stuff into this. We are going to have to go fast to try and make this executable. I believe it's possible. I believe it's totally safe, and I believe we are where we want to be. It's just sad that we're this close to the end date, and I sure would hate to see the 2020 boating season at jeopardy because we can't get stuff ordered on time. So collectively, hopefully we have this solution. We start acting kind of with a super sense of urgency and along the same lines that's always been said by many, many people on city staff, that we want to restore trailer boating safely and with no downside effects to the boating or to the city water quality. Last thing that I will say is I feel like we've put so much time and effort into this, we really need to get to the end. It's time. Right? You got to look at things and say, look, this is thousands and thousands of times better with what was fine for 12 solid years. No one said a word. And now, now this seems like the legal limits are much, much higher, certainly than they used to be. Last thing that I want to tell you about, in 8th grade, I actually wrote a term paper once. Didn't seem like it was going to be so poignant when I wrote it. But I wrote a little term paper that was all around, if you don't decide or not to decide, you will have decided. And I don't want that to be us right now. We have solutions. Let's get this done. Thank you.
Good evening, Jared Jansen. I don't get to come here as often as Britt, sorry. But it's about Stanley Lake. Today's 209 days since Don Tripp sent out the email banning trailer boats. And quite frankly, we haven't gotten anywhere. We've poured hundreds, if not thousands of hours into this. We've presented solutions and we haven't gotten anywhere. It's quite frustrating. We're not here just because we like to be here. The boating community, not the city, has made it evident and provided to you guys that all 24 of those violators would have been proactively caught in 2019 if you were open using this database that's there. We never would have been in this boat. We've suggested numerous different revisions that would add layers upon layers to the security that you already had in place. These have all been turned down, saying a single layer can be manipulated with and multiple layers aren't any good. You can find your way into the White House, but they have 7 layers. Each one can be manipulated. They still go with it. What we're offering is 10 times the security that you would have had. And I also think that we're not taking into consideration the publicity this has gained, the increase in penalties, the lifetime bans that have been suggested, the financial implication. Those are all deterrents. We're not just making stuff up that isn't going to work. The result of this, though, personally, what I feel, 24 people break the rules and we're all penalized. And then as we provide suggestions, we're constantly told, well, this can be hacked, that can be hacked. I feel like I'm being treated like some highly skilled criminal, and that's not the case. For years, I paid for my pass, went out on the lake, abided by the rules, and now I'm being penalized. And I'm trying to help this. We all are. There's hundreds of us that are working on this, and we're not getting anywhere. I mean, at what time do you say enough is enough? This is 10 times better than what it was. Let's move forward with this. So that's what I had to share with you. It's getting frustrating. I'm hoping to see some new faces in a couple months that might actually understand where we're coming from. So thanks.
At this time, is there anyone else who has any comments they'd like to come forward with? Go ahead, sir. Since you didn't sign up, would you please give us your name and address, please?
Absolutely, Mayor. My name is Barrett Bartels. I live in Arvada at 16762 West 86th Drive. That's Arvada 80007. Lived in Jefferson County for most of my life, Arvada, Westminster, Golden. Personally, coming up here to talk about the lake as well. We've been on the lake with my wife, 3 kids for the last decade almost now. And just sad to see where this thing's going. A little bit about me, I'm married, I've got 3 young kids. My eldest son's 9, my daughter's 7, my youngest boy's 4. It's been amazing for us to be able to go out on the lake. It's a chance for us to get together as a family. It's a chance for us to connect. And it's one of the few places where you can get your kids alone in one single location where they're not on iPads, not talking to their friends, and they're not, miles away doing something else. In addition to, my family, just a little bit about me for what it's worth is I actually own and operate 3 different businesses. I serve at the Wheat Ridge Chamber of Commerce. I also serve coaching youth soccer. I just got done with soccer practice. I share that with you guys to say I get how busy you are. I get what it is serving for the city, serving for the community. I want you to know I appreciate all of your service. And getting busy, it's tough to prioritize things. It's tough for me to prioritize whether it's my kids or soccer or service or, taking care of my wife, being a husband. I'm up here to ask that you guys take a step just for a little bit of time and prioritize this. I know you guys have a million things you're all fighting for. Every one of you is fighting here to make this a great city, whether it's City Westminster, Jefferson County as a whole, the neighboring cities. You guys generally do a great job. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I'm just here to ask that you guys take a little bit of time here in the next week, couple of weeks, whatever it is, whenever you can squeeze it in, focus on this lake, get involved, help us bring it back. Help me personally go spend time with my kids. I can tell you if Stanley Lake doesn't come back, I lose that time with my kids. I don't have a couple hours to go drive up to a lake in Fort Collins. It's not going to work. The only way it works for me to be able to go spend that time with my kids is right here, doing it locally in the community. By the way, I'd rather support the local community and local businesses anyways than going up and spending money in Fort Collins or Greeley or anywhere outside of Jefferson County. So I'm just here to ask you guys, I know you're busy. Please, 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 if you can commit a little bit of time here, get involved in this, get engaged. Help us get this thing wrapped up before it becomes too late. Jared mentioned, I think it was, we got 200 days left. Truth be told, if we don't get this decision made in the next couple of months, I'm losing another year with my kids out on the lake. So my name is Barrett Bartels. I just appreciate all you guys' hard work and appreciate you anything you can do to jump in, put a little bit of personal time into this and help us get this lake back. Thank you guys.
All right, this time I'll ask if anyone else has any comments. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Next item is the report of the city officials. Mr. Tripp.
A couple of things, Mayor. I hadn't anticipated addressing the voting tonight, but I think I should. Folks came out, gave it their time to make their comment. We continue to work on this, as we always have, and we'll continue to.
I think that in the next couple, 3 weeks, we'll have a solution to this event one way or the other, and I think the meeting tomorrow night will be critical to that. So I want to assure you that your staff has spent hundreds of hours on this, literally, and has worked very, very hard and long to try to get boating back in the lake if it's at all possible. A couple of other things. We've had a lot of comment in multimedia over the course of the past month or so on development, and a lot of the things I'm reading and hearing are not accurate. We have not seen a number of these developments that are being discussed in the media in front of us. We have a process. So I want to assure you that we're going to be addressing that in some manner to make sure people understand what that process really is, and that many of the things that have been discussed you have not seen, and some of those things never get to you because they don't get beyond a point of deliberation. Developing a site is very complicated and requires a lot of compliance with a number of plans. I know people in the city, in our city, are concerned about growth, and they're concerned about overdevelopment. We are as well. We want to make sure we bring smart growth in front of you. To that end, I want to remind folks that we're in the midst of a very, very important comprehensive planning process that is underway. There's a meeting coming up to that end Wednesday, October 16th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the MAC. This is another one of the Westminster Forward meetings where we, every 5 years or so, update multiple plans that really impact development. This is a time when we develop the maps and the plans and the strategies to decide how our future can be built out in a way that's sustainable. So I wanted to remind you of that, remind the public of that, and also to remind the public that there's an outstanding survey available on the Westminster Forward website, a series of survey instruments that do a really good job of giving people a very simple way to communicate their likes and dislikes in terms of how they want to see their city built out. So I would encourage people to take a look at that and fill that survey out and ask their family members and friends who are residents of our city to do the same. Finally, our Economic Development Department was just recently named the Large Community of the Year by the Economic Development Council of Colorado. This is an extraordinary honor. We're in the large category, which means we compete with Colorado Springs and Denver and Fort Collins and Aurora and cities of that size, and I'm really proud of the staff for the work that they've done. It's ostensibly because of good quality development we've done, but also because we've really exceeded a lot of, I think, expectations on a number of really important planning areas in the area of affordable housing, diversity of jobs in our community, growing our economy from different dimensions. So I'm really proud of the work that they've done. I just want to say congratulations to all of them.
This time I will turn to the council if you have any comments you'd like to add at this time. Mr. DeMont.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to take a minute to reflect upon something that was a 7-year anniversary this year, and what that is the Jessica Ridgway being taken from her family and community. This year has been, I'd say, relatively rough on the community, just because it would have been her senior year. Although the Gators did win their homecoming game, so go Gators. That was a good thing. But the reason I bring it up is, so much of different people I know who got involved in their community did because of that event, including myself. So I would ask that we always like to remember Jessica and her family in this time of the year and keep them in our prayers. And I just wanted to reflect upon that. There's a class of kids who are seniors this year who I know are remembering her, and I just wanted to reflect upon that with you all.
So thank you, and thank you, Dave, for that reminder. I think it's sobering. I wanted to take a second pitch at asking folks to participate in Westminster Forward. Tonight we recognized both our planning department and our public works department. And I often say beautiful cities don't just happen, they're envisioned and they're planned. But that doesn't happen from the top down. This is an iterative process, and it really is the community's vision for who we want to be when we grow up. And so I would encourage everyone, if you have opinions on what you want Westminster to look like, not just today, but into the future, please participate. This process is very comprehensive, and so your input gets folded into our transportation and mobility plan, our parks, recs, and libraries plan, our water resource plan, our sustainability plan, and our building codes, in addition to the comprehensive plan. So it's an opportunity for you to really have your fingerprint on Westminster's future. So I encourage all of you to participate. We've had quite a fun weekend this weekend. I celebrated the birthday of one of our probably favorite amenities here in Westminster, which is the library, turned 100 years old. And they celebrated with a Great Gatsby party. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was involved. It was a really great way to celebrate such a loved institution, and something I never thought I would learn at a library. I learned how to play craps. So that was pretty fun too. I also wanted to invite people to a couple of fun events that are coming up. We are going to have our Halloween Harvest Festival this weekend. It's from noon to 8. There will be a balloon glow. So we have those hot air balloons that we light up. There's going to be free carnival games, trick-or-treating for the kids, live music, a beer garden, not for the kids, and a barbecue competition. We'll even have a pumpkin patch. So I hope everyone can come and enjoy it. It's a free event, and it'll be there all day long. And that's it. I don't know if that's not your scene, you don't like crowds. One thing we really do care about in Westminster is our heritage, where we came from. And at Stanley Lake, they are going to have it's called Native Lands Day, and it's just from 10 to 11, but you can learn about gold in our area, the different Native American tribes that lived here, and discover the culture and traditions of the Native Americans. So I thought that might be something people enjoy as well.
Mr. Voles?
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to join Mayor Pro Tem Seitz in saying that the Great Booksby event at the library was wonderful. It was very fun. So thank you for staff on that. And then also earlier that day, the fire department hosted their open house, station number 4. And it was a wonderful event, well attended. A lot of good work went into making that event as good as it was. So thank you to our staff, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Other comments from council? Okay. Next item on the agenda will be the consent agenda. This is a group of routine matters. We only have one item on the consent agenda. No one asked to have this recalled for further discussion. So at this point, Mr. DeMott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the City Council adopt consent agenda item 8A.
And Mr. Bowles.
I second the motion.
In that case, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please turn to your voting buttons. And the motion is carried on a 7-0 vote. Next item on the agenda is the appointment and resignation, resolution number 21.
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 21, promoting current alternate members to full membership and appointing new alternate members to the Inclusivity Board and the Special Permit and License Board, respectively.
Ms. Scully.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item 9A by any member of council? Ms. Parker, you got a comment? Sorry, Ms. Fitch, do you have a comment?
No.
Push your button, so I was looking. All right, this is a roll call vote. And if you would, Ms. Fitch, go ahead now.
Atchison.
Yes.
DeMott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Seitz.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Voles.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Motion carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for resolution number 27, amending the 2020 pay plan. Ms. Scully?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt resolution number 22, amending the 2020 pay plan.
And Mr. Voles.
Second.
Any discussion by council on item A1, 10A1? none, Ms. Fitch?
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Menke.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes. Motion passes on a 7-0 vote. Moving on to item 10A2. Ms. Scully, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to pass Councilors Bill number 37 on first reading, amending the adopted 2020 budgets of the general water, wastewater, Legacy Ridge Golf Course, Walnut Creek Golf Preserve, storm drainage, parking management, fleet maintenance, general capital outlay replacement, sales and use tax, parks, open space and trails, conservation trust, and general capital improvement funds.
Mr. Vols.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 10A2 by council on Council Bill number 37? Demott, you have a question?
Comment.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just want to share a little context on why I'll be voting no on this. I voted no on this last year. I remain disappointed with some of the things we prioritized or not prioritized, such as I would still prefer to have seen the rifle program in the budget instead of using grants for it, where as I've mentioned, I think that we could use those grants for other things. Additionally, I'm not really comfortable with the amount of money that we're adding to do more renovations here at City Hall, including the renovations in CMO's office, so I will be voting no.
Other comments from council? Ms. Fitch, if you would, please.
Haney.
Yes.
Menke.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
No.
Looking for one more light. Somewhere. There we go. This carries on a 6-1 vote. Next item is Council's Bill number 38.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 38 on first reading, setting salary for presiding municipal judge source for 2020.
Ms. Scully,
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? Ms. Sights?
Yeah, I don't know if the judge is still here, but I did just want to say thank you for her vision, leadership, and passion for justice in our community and making sure that the imprint of it is felt in every single case before her court.
Other comments by council? Seeing none, this is also a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch, you're up again.
Menke.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Motion is carried on a 7-0 vote. Next item up is item B2. This is the continuation of this item for renewal of the employment agreement with Judge Soares. Mr. Demott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize the mayor to execute a revised employment agreement with Tiffany Soares for her services as presiding municipal judge for 2020 with an effective date of January 1, 2020, an automatic renewal for 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 unless terminated pursuant to the terms of the agreement.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? And this one is done with your buttons, ladies and gentlemen. And the motion passes on a 7-0 vote. Next item up is item C1, Councilor's Bill number 39. Ms. Scully.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to pass Councilors Bill number 39 on first reading, amending the 2019 budget of the General Capital Improvement Fund by authorizing a supplemental appropriation of $337,500 from the 2019 estimated revenues to reflect the financial contributions of Adams County and the City of Federal Heights for the Federal Boulevard multimodal study.
I have a motion, Ms. Menke.
Thank you. A second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? Ms. Sights?
Yeah, we've heard recently from our residents very loud and clear some frustrations with the commute on Federal Boulevard. And I do want to say, I think our staff is really proactive and really understands the benefit of collaborating with our neighbors and our other partners, such as RTD on the corridor, to make sure that everybody has buy-in and a shared vision for how we can make improvements. I specifically want to call out our Deborah Baskett, who is in charge of this project. We got a really great staff report, and I'm excited to see us start this planning process.
Mankey, did you have a comment?
Yes, I also too was going to thank Deborah Haskett for this this work on this study. I think that this area of Federal is known to be one of the most dangerous, especially for pedestrians and for public health. And I think that the combined efforts of the cities, the Urban Lands Institute, the Tri-County Health Department, RTD, CDOT, I mean, this is a really great collaborative project, so I'm really excited about it.
Other comments from council? Just one piece, just a reminder to folks, Federal happens to be a state highway. It's not something that just we control or anyone controls. So everything we do along Federal has to go through the state. Sometimes this takes us longer than what we would like to have it, but it's also a prioritization for the state as to where they put their money with all the work they're having to do and the shortfall of budget that they see each year on state highways. So we appreciate all the work that CDOT and the other partners are helping us with. Any other comments on this item? This is item C1, Council's Bill number 39. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch.
Seitz.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Hutchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Mankey.
Yes.
Motion for Council's Bill 39 carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item is item C2, Ms. Scully.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize the city manager to sign an intergovernmental agreement with Adams County and the City of Federal Heights to work collaboratively to complete a multimodal study of the Federal Boulevard and to share the cost of the study.
Ms. Mankey.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by any member of council? Being not, item C2 is a vote with your lights, please. I need one more, guys. There we go. 7-0. Next item is the adoption of resolution number 23. So before we start down this one, this needs to be split into 3 different resolutions, contrary to what's on here, because there is not unanimous agreement on all 3 of these. So we will start with this, and I will call it item D1. This is for a resolution for item CC on the state ballot. Mr. Vols?
Oh, I'm sorry, then how do I need to read that?
Read the same thing, you just refer in the staff agenda. Read the motion just the way it is and refer to item CC on the state ballot in your motion, and we'll cover it that way. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
So we can't call it resolution number 23 clearly. So will I do 23, 24, 25?
You could do it just as D1, D2, and D3 under that resolution, just like we have other parts of others.
Or do...
Hang on a minute, guys. There's conference going on.
So it would still pass even as one. I think staff had contemplated us doing it as a whole.
They did, but they didn't realize we didn't have unanimous support on all 3 of them. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a short break while we're getting this worked out, and we'll be on recess for about 5 minutes, and then you guys can work this out.
committee, so you could ask.
You know, it's not like. Oh, really?
Sooner or later.
Mayor, I agree.
Okay, council, let's come back to order, please. All right, just for clarification, we are on item 10D, Resolution 23. You will now have three parts to this. 23A, you will read it as adoption of Resolution 23A, and that is item CC on the state ballot. 23B will be item DD on the state ballot, and 23C will be 1A out of Jeffco. All right, Ms. Seitz, you want to make the motion? He ran away. He found somebody to bail him out, so he ran. All right, so go ahead with that one.
I move to adopt resolution number 23A regarding city positions on CC for the 2019 state and local ballot measures. CC.
Ms. Menke?
Thank you. A second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on item 23A, state ballot issue CC. Is there any other comments or questions at this time? Seeing none, Ms. Fitch, this is a roll call vote.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
No.
Haney.
Yes.
Menke.
Yes.
Seitz.
Yes.
Motion carries on a 6-1 vote. Next item is item 23B. Ms. Seitz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would move to adopt resolution number 23B regarding city positions of support on 2019 state ballot measure DD.
Ms. Menke?
Thank you. A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? If not, this is also a roll call vote.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Menke.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Seitz.
Yes.
That motion carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item is resolution 23C. Ms. Seitz?
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 23C regarding a city position of support on 2019 local ballot measure 1A.
Ms. Menke?
Thank you. A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? Mr. Demott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to make a quick comment about this. So when we talked about this before, I was a no on this. I frankly do not like the way that they've done their budget cut so that they're, in my opinion, the commissioners are holding, and Jefferson County is holding public safety over us. And, so I fundamentally don't like this, but and I've heard people say that, the jail isn't going to have to close the floor if this doesn't pass. However, in our capacity here, I think the number one thing that we're responsible for is the public safety. And I cannot hedge a bet on that not being true, that if this doesn't pass, that they wouldn't close a floor of the jail, as well as the other things I've heard that this will affect in the DA's office, such as elder abuse cases being able to be moved forward. So I reluctantly am going to support this with the group.
So I want to thank Councilor Demott for his support of this. I do think this is a necessary measure, and I also want to explain that I think our previous support for the other two statewide ballot initiatives is also fundamentally important. Colorado has roads that are failing, and so we need to find funding. And this is not a permanent fix, but when we do have a refund, I would much rather than getting $15 have that money go to fund K through 12 education. I would rather have it help higher education and help our failing transportation infrastructure. When it comes to DD, we really do need to have a revenue source to help us complete the Colorado Water Plan. So water, another fundamental to life in the state, and I would say also an issue of public safety. So I similarly support 1A because I do think that these are vital city and county services, and I think we need to make sure that we can provide those core services to residents.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just real quickly to add on why I voted no on CC. I think that the things that Mayor Pro Tem Seitz so eloquently put are important things, such as quick K-12 education. However, I do not believe that the state legislator has shown the ability to actually prioritize my tax dollars. So I would prefer to be able to get that money back, and I can donate it to my PTA. So thank you.
Other comments from council? All right, Ms. Fitch, one more time.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Mankey.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
And the motion squeaks by on a 7-0 vote. Moving on, authorization of reallocation of funds for the water park account. This is item 10E1. Ms. Sights?
Oh,
All right, go
sorry,
ahead,
guys.
Mr. DeMott.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize reallocation of $6,280,374 from the water parket account to high service pump station repairs and replacement capital improvement project account to provide a total amount of $15,269,486 to complete work at the Semper Water Treatment Facility high service pump station as part of the high service pump station repairs and replacement improvements project.
Ms. Sights?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. There any discussion by council on item 10E1? Mr. DeMont?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was a good question asked by Mayor Pro Tem Sights in the pre-meeting, and I just was hoping that you would put on the record exactly why, with us having the new water plant coming forward, so that if anybody's listening right now, they could understand why this is an important investment for us to put into our current water plant.
Staff, would you like to come forward and repeat what you said in the earlier meeting? Or Mr. Tripp, if you have someone you would rather do that?
Mr. Mayor and councilors, thank you for the opportunity. This project is important to replace failing infrastructure at the current facility. It's linked to the Semper Water Treatment Plant, which you may have heard the Water 2025 will come online. However, Semper will continue to be in service until 2040. Anytime Semper is producing water, we need a 100% reliable high-service pump station to continue to provide water to 80% of the city. And that's why we requested funding in this council amendment, agenda memo.
Thank you for repeating that. I know we asked in the post-meeting or pre-meeting and you shared that, but I think it's important for anybody who's listening to understand this spend, so thank you.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions by council on item 10E1? If not, ladies and gentlemen, this is a simple vote with your button. Motion carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item is 10E2, Mr. DeMott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize the city manager to execute a contract with the low bidder Stanek Constructors, Inc. for the construction at the Semper Water Treatment Facility High Service Pump Station for high service pump station repairs and replacement improvements project in the amount of $12,487,250 and authorize a contingency amount of $1,248,725 for the total authorized expenditure with this firm not to exceed $13,735,975.
Science. A motion and a second. Is there any other discussion by council on item 10E2? Seeing none, this is a vote with your buttons, please. This motion carries a 7-0 vote. Next item up will be item 10E3. Mr. DeMott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize a contract amendment with HDR Engineering, Inc. to provide engineering services during the construction in the amount of $1,533,511, bringing the total authorized expenditure with this firm to work on the Semper Water Treatment Facility High Service Pump Station for high service pump station repairs and replacement improvements project for the previously approved amount of $1,360,888 to amount not to exceed $2,894,399.
Ms. Sykes?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this item by council? Seeing none, ladies and gentlemen, vote with your buttons. This carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item on the agenda is item 10F, city's application for the 2020 and 2021 co-responder services. Ms. Mankey.
Thank you. I move to authorize the city's application for the 2020 and 21 Co-Responder Services Program grant from the state of Colorado.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on item 10F? Ms. Sykes.
I just want to say thank you to our chief and to our department for going forward with this grant application. I am very excited to see this. For those of you who are not aware, this is to have a grant to test out having a mental health provider, a crisis provider, to come along on calls that it might be appropriate. So this really is making sure that it's the appropriate response for the call that they're receiving. I think it will protect our first responders and it'll be great for our community, but we will see. So this is kind of a study. So thank you so much to Chief Carlson.
Any other comments on item 10F? Hearing none, this is also a move for your buttons, please. And this motion carries on a 7-0 vote. Next item up is item 10G. Ms. Scully.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize the city manager to amend the contract with Doran Construction West LLC in the amount of $274,806 for public infrastructure improvements surrounding Block B1C1 in downtown Westminster, bringing the authorized project amount from $690,727 to $965,533 and an additional contingency of $25,000 for a total authorized expenditure with this firm of $990,533.
Mr. Vold.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on item 10G. Are there other comments from council? Seeing none, ladies and gentlemen, please vote with your buttons. This motion also carries on a 7-0 vote. That concludes the current business as it is defined in item 10. There is no items in the old business area, no miscellaneous business, and no executive session for the city council. However, the group has not finished their business. We will at this time adjourn as the Westminster City Council, and we will re-adjourn under the pre-existing roll call as the Westminster General Improvement District Board of Directors. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to take a little bit of time in trying to get through these, but we need to do a motion and these will all be voice votes for taken individually as items 2A through 2I. We'll do a voice vote on each one of those. What I'm going to ask is whoever makes the first motion and whoever makes the second, if you would please expedite this. This will continue on as we vote these. Whoever is there. Mr. DeMont, you're up first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approve the minutes of October 8th, 2018 meeting of the 136th Avenue General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes of item 2A. Is there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the voice is carried. Mr. DeMont, next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of the 144th Avenue General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Mr. DeMont.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the board approve the minutes of October 8th, 2018 meeting of the Amherst General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board. Is there any discussion on item 2C? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Moving on to item 2D. Mr. DeMont.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the December 12th, 2016 meeting of the Downtown General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, 2D carries. Moving on to 2E. Mr. DeMont.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of Mandalay Town Center General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully?
Aye. I'm sorry.
I approve.
I do approve, Mr. Mayor, and I second as well.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion for item 2E, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Moving to 2F, Mr. Demott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of the Orchard Park Place North General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If there are no comments, we will move the motion. All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Moving on to item 2G, Mr. Demott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of the Park 1200 General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion as presented for item 2G, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Moving on to item 2H, Mr. Demott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of the Sheridan Crossing General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
I second.
I have a motion and a second for item 2H. If there are no objections, all those in favor, please signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we move on to the last item. Mr. Demott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move that the board approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 meeting of the Westminster Station General Improvement District as presented.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
If there is no discussion, we will move to approval of the motion. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried, and that concludes item 2. Moving on to item 3 of the General Improvement District is to hold a public hearing on the 2020 budgets of the following City of Westminster General Improvement Districts. At this time, I will turn to the staff to see if there is any comments or representations by staff. Having none? Okay. Council, does anybody have any comments or if they would like to do this before I open it up to the public? All right, seeing none at this time, I will open up the public hearing on the 2020 budgets for the following City of Westminster General Improvement Districts: 136th Avenue, 144th Avenue, Amherst, Mandalay Town Center, Orchard Park Center, Orchard Park Place North, Park 1200, Sheridan Crossing, and Westminster Station. This time, the public hearing is now open. If there is anyone in the public who'd like to comment on any one of these items, please come forward at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move to item 3B. Ms. Menke, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt resolution number 24 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 16 mills for the City of Westminster 136th Avenue General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by the board? Seeing none. Ms. Fitch, back to you.
Demott.
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Mankey.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes. And for the board, it carries on the 7-0 vote. Ms. Menke, you're up again.
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 18 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 20 mills for the City of Westminster 144th Avenue General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by any member of the authority? Seeing none, this is also a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch.
Haney.
Yes.
Mankey.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
Please tell me you're going to have to go back and hit your lights because I'm having a little trouble with the button up here.
It's still, there we go.
There we go. Just for the record, we got it down to a 7-0 vote. All right, next item up. Ms. Menke, if you would, please. This will be 3D.
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 39 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 5 mills for the City of Westminster, Amherst General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for item 3D. Is there any discussion by council? Mr. Demott? This again is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch?
Minky,
Yes.
Sights,
Yes.
Scully,
Yes.
Vols,
Yes.
Atchison,
Yes.
Demott,
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
And this one also is squeaked by on a 7-0 vote. Keep going. This could go off all night. Ms. Mankey, if you would do 3E, please.
I move to adopt resolution number 3 that confirms that no budget will be adopted for 2020 for the City of Westminster Downtown General Improvement District.
Ms. Scully?
Yes, I'm sorry, second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch, if you would, please.
Sights,
Yes.
Scully,
Yes.
Vols,
Yes.
Atchison,
Yes.
Demott,
Yes.
Haney. Yes. Minky.
Yes.
And the motion carries on a 7-0 vote. Going back to item 3F. Ms. Mankey?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt resolution number 23 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 35 mills for the City of Westminster Mandalay Town Center General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by the board? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch, if you would, please.
Scully,
Yes.
Vols,
Yes.
Atchison,
Yes.
Demott,
Yes.
Haney. Yes. Minky.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
And the vote carries as a 7-0 vote. Next item up is item 3G. Ms. Mankey, if you would.
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 12 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 13 mills for the Westminster Orchard Park Place North General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by any member of the authority? Seeing none, again, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch?
Vols,
Yes.
Atchison,
Yes.
Demott,
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Minky.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
All right, somebody punched another button.
Oh, sorry, it's me.
There we go.
We're getting punchy.
All right, next item is item 3H. Ms. Mankey, if you
Thank-
still would.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt resolution number 6 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 10 mills for the City of Westminster Park 1200 General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully,
Second?
you have a motion and a second for item 3H. Any comments from the board? Hearing none. Ms. Fitch, we're back to you again.
Atchison,
Yes.
Demott,
Yes.
Haney. Yes. Minky.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
And the motion passes on a 7-0 vote. We're on the home stretch. Ms. Mankey,
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 36 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 12 mills for the City of Westminster Sheridan Crossing General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully,
Second?
I have a motion and a second from the authority. Is there any discussion at this point?
Just real quick, I want everyone to know that all of the motions up until now, there has been no increase in the mill levy. So, and I believe the next one is the first one that we're actually setting a new mill levy. Is that correct? Or is it the same? They're all the same. Oh, it was written differently, so I actually thought we were increasing it. Okay, thank you. So just so it seems like we're going through this, and it's not without a lot of thought, we're just keeping it where it's at.
Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Fitch?
Demott,
Yes.
Haney. Yes. Minky.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes. Again, we are at the last one, Ms. Mankey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt Resolution Number 2 that sets the mill levy for the tax year 2019 for collection in 2020 at 35 mills for the City of Westminster, Westminster Station General Improvement District, formally adopts the 2020 budget for the district as presented, and appropriates the funds as budgeted.
Ms. Scully,
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the authority. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, we will vote on the roll call vote. Ms. Fitch?
Haney. Yes. Mankey.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Scully.
Yes.
Vols.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Demott.
Yes.
All right, that was the last item we have. That one passed on a roll call vote of 7-0 as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of the City of Westminster General Improvement District, and for that item, we are adjourned. However, before we leave, I want to follow up on one item that the city manager made note of, and I will ask the public to pay a little bit of attention. Again, newspaper reports, social media things are coming out about future potential developments coming to the City of Westminster. I would ask you please pay a little bit more attention to what is on the websites as to what's there. These items are not before the City Council, and since they are expected at some point in the future to possibly come, Westminster City Council cannot engage in conversation with you about those items. That is ex parte communication. Please watch the website, watch the information that comes out in the City Council packets, and you will see when those items are coming before either the Planning Commission or the City Council. And again, as the City Manager noted, a lot of incorrect information is getting out again through the TV and social media. Thank you for everyone. Have a good night. We are adjourned.
Have a bed waiting.